What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you all have had a great weekend. It's been very stormy depending on where you are. I know where I am, it's stormed every day for the last several days, including today, and that is what's going to be the main topic of this video, as it looks like tomorrow and possibly Tuesday is going to be the most active as far as storms. In fact, there's I wouldn't say a significant threat, but there's a decent threat of flooding occurring tomorrow for certain areas here in the southeast. So we're going to talk about that, and looks like more of the heightened area could be the Carolinas, which is where I reside. So we're going to talk about that, break that down, kind of take a look at the HRRR model, the NAM model, and kind of get an idea of where these storms are going to form. But just keep in mind, if you get hit by a storm tomorrow, there's a chance it could linger over you for a long time, and there's a 100% chance if you get hit by a storm, it is going to unload a ton of rain on you. So definitely be aware of more areas that are prone to flooding in your specific area, wherever you live, especially talking about here in the Carolinas. So we're going to break that down and take a little bit of a peek going forward. We're starting to we're past the midway point of the month here in July. And we're starting to get August, the first part of August, really in view on the long-range models. But we won't go too deep into that at all yet. But before we get going, if you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Growth has definitely bottomed out and kind of averaged out now. Not really picking up any subscribers daily, which is cool. It's just slow. Not a lot to talk about. It's a nice little break. It's a typical summer pattern. And it's just gets really hot, and then it storms, cools off, and then that's the day weather-wise. So like the video if you like it. If you got anything I can pray about, please drop in the comments. It gives me an opportunity to pray for you guys. It gives other people an opportunity to pray for you. And if it's unspoken, just put that. So thank you all for tuning in this Sunday evening, and I hope your evening is going great. So here you go, a day 2 excessive rainfall outlook. So basically you got the threat levels down here. You got marginal, slight, moderate, high. It's kind of like the severe weather threat, but it's missing an enhanced kind of area that the severe weather index has. So look at this big area stretching from the coastal areas of Georgia all the way up to almost the entire coastline and just inland of North Carolina. That includes a large chunk of South Carolina, stretching all the way almost to Florence, to Orangeburg, and Waltersboro, things like that. And then everybody on the coast has a slight chance of flash flooding occurring tomorrow, and basically that's a 10 to 20% chance with 25 miles of any given location in that slight region. Then you look at the large area of marginal, and I'll tell you why there's such a big area here in a second, so stick with me. But let's look at the HRRR model for tomorrow, and we're going to go into Tuesday too, because it looks like Tuesday is going to be a pretty stormy day also. But this is kind of what's going on right now. HRRR model is not doing a bad job of picking up what's occurring. It does have another area of rain and storms kind of developing again in the Carolinas. Check out over here. I haven't really looked at any radar returns going on in Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee or things like that. So I'm not sure if this is actually occurring. Should have done that beforehand, but it's kind of hard to keep track of all the storms and everything at every given state at one time. But here we go, going overnight. Things will diminish, but there could be some heavy rain and storms even overnight, really anywhere in the southeast, especially stretching from Louisiana all the way to North Carolina. But as we get into tomorrow afternoon, look how storms begin to develop in this entire area in marginal. Then you got the slight risk of excessive rainfall in this area right here. Basically, what I'm thinking is going to happen if you're Carolinas, you're going to have multiple areas where showers and storms can form. It's almost impossible to know where they're going to form. And you check out over here in the deep south, you got plenty of tropical moisture blowing up over here. Basically, you get under one of these storms, and I think most people will see rain tomorrow. Basically from Louisiana all the way to North Carolina. North Carolina, maybe in the northern sections of North Carolina, might miss the heaviest rain, but I think South Carolina especially is going to get hit hard by heavy rain again. They're getting hit hard now, and they have all in the last several hours here in South Carolina. But there could be more consolidated areas of storms, but It could be outflow driven, outflow boundary driven. Basically, if you have a radar, especially I like to recommend this every time, especially in the summer. It's impossible. You guys wake up, and I know, especially if you're on the weekends and you have outdoor activities, you want to look at your hourly forecast on the Weather Channel app or even on a local news app. But keep in mind, it might say a 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms at 3:30 p.m. That is literally a guess. It is very hard to know when a storm is going to be at a specific location in the summer. Very, very difficult. Now, when you're in the spring, you're in the fall, in the winter, when you have more of a frontal boundary driven storms, meaning you got storms associated with a cold front or something, and it's more of a line of storms, you can kind of predict where it's going to occur. But when it's just pop-up showers and storms, all you can really say is, hey, this is going to be widespread in nature, scattered, means there's going to be more storms than isolated. Most of y'all know that, but not everybody. When it says likely, it's normally a 70-80% chance of storms or higher. So keep that in mind. If you're in South Carolina, most people will be at work on a Monday. I wouldn't call it a washout. It's almost impossible to have a washout on a summer day here in the southeast. But wouldn't be surprised if clouds are around most of the day, and it's going to be a tropical air mass for sure. And then maybe more showers and storms keep popping up overnight. We get into Tuesday, and we do it all over again. It only goes out 48 hours on the HRRR model. Sorry, I can't talk, but it looks like coverage really shifts more east. Look at the NAM, same thing. It's not going to show exactly what the HRRR model is showing, but check out the storms developing tomorrow early afternoon, and it doesn't show near as many storms on the NAM on the more of the northern sections, but it's a very stormy day still. I'm really watching an area just like what the National Weather Service is watching, the excessive rainfall from this area right here. Some outflows might get going, and a lot of storms might combine just southeast of Columbia. So if you're in Orangeburg to the coast, Florence to the coast, Fayetteville to the coast, Wilmington, Charleston, down to Savannah, and all areas in between, watch out for some storms that really can dump 1 to 2 inches just like that very quickly tomorrow. And then we get into Tuesday. It looks like we kind of do it all again, but it might be a little bit different, more of a different look. Tell you what, Tuesday looks kind of odd. It has more of like a more of like discrete storms. So watch that. I didn't really show the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center because it looks like it doesn't have anybody really in a marginal risk. It just keeps it in the general thunderstorm category. But this is a reason why there's a big time area flash flooding. Two things. One is a lot of area, the soil is saturated, meaning a lot of areas have picked up a lot of rain in those areas highlighting the slight risk. So they picked up a lot of rain, the soil can't hold up as much rain, therefore heavier rain runs off and stands more. It's more of a standing water scenario, so the flood-prone areas are more susceptible to flooding. But I mentioned this yesterday. Check it out. Anything you see in the reds are precipitation water values above 2 inches. When you get water values really above 1.5 inches, that's a lot. But when you get over 2 inches, you can really feel it in the air. It's really humid. It's juicy. The atmosphere is just really humid outside. It's steamy. It's hot. Temperatures around 90, dew points in the mid-70s, brutal tropical air mass. Well, check it out. As we're getting going in tomorrow, look as we get into the afternoon hours. Most of the state of South Carolina is at it values above 2 inches. But then you got it over here to the Louisiana, all the way to North Carolina. So when the water values are this high, that normally, and breaking it down in a simpler term, means that when you get under a storm or shower, it's going to unload. I'm talking about like 1 inch of rain in maybe 15-20 minutes if the storm stays on top of you. So that means that these storms are going to unload tomorrow on people if you get under one. This is a pretty widespread. This is big time tropical moisture for sure right here moving through, and it stays in place all the way into Tuesday. We're starting to get into Tuesday, and it pivots a little bit more east. Just get a little bit more dry air pushing it more east, but it is still a tropical air mass across the south. So we need to watch out for that. This is, sorry if you hear my kids in the background. This is the National Weather Service showing the potential rainfall. Like I said, very hard to predict rainfall for exact locations in this kind of setup, but through about Wednesday morning, shows a good swath of anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain from Louisiana. And I'm not mentioning East Texas a lot, but there's a good chance of heavy rain for them too, all the way to the coast, all the way to, there's a good little cutoff here in Virginia. But a lot of rain potential from Louisiana all the way to North Carolina tomorrow. Anybody in between this could get anywhere from 1 to 3 to maybe 4 inches of rain. So we'll continue to watch this. Looking ahead, as far as looking at dew points, I'm interested for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. There might be a little bit of a dip in the trough to bring some drier air late week. So maybe even as far south as Virginia and northern areas of North Carolina, maybe a brief day or two break in the brutal humidity. But I tell you what, it stays, if you go all the way up into deep in the Northeast. I've heard some people mention like this might be a summer backbreaker for places like Maine. I don't know much about, I don't live in Maine obviously, but it's hard to believe that, a summer backbreaker in July. But looking ahead, I mean, dang, the dew points do stay decently crisp all the way up in Maine. I don't know what's considered hot in Maine or how long it normally stays what is considered hot, but must be nice for summer to end in July. But that's pretty much all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great start to your week. God bless all y'all, and have a great evening.